Good day, everyone. I am Edward, and today I will explore you to the world of strategies. This is strategy 7 that includes role playing as a teaching strategy. Now, at this very moment, I would just like to ask for your presence and I would just like to borrow your ears for quite some time just to listen and comprehend what I am going to deliver as of this time. Alright, so we are going to dig deeper to what is this role playing as a teaching strategy. And first, we have to define, of course, what is this role playing. Now, role playing is an unrehearsed dramatization in which individuals improvise behaviors that illustrate acts expected from people involved in defined situation. According to Davis in 1993, in role playing activities, you present to your student a realistic or hypothetical situation and a cast of characters, meaning to say that the student then improvise a dialogue and actions to fit their view of the situation and the character they are playing. Now, in role playing, there are many forms. There are three forms that we need to cater. First is that in a successful role playing, the learner assimilate information that is provided about their role and then act out the designed role in accordance with their interpretation of how their character would behave in the fictional situations. Now, in this type of role play, it can be easy it can be easily to be designed to help the student understand the feelings and perspectives of others by acting out situations in which there is a conflict or dilemma. Now, they provide an opportunity as well for them to, become deeply involved in thinking about how they would react in a real world situation. Frequently, this type of role playing directly involves just just a few students, or let's say the actors, and the majority of the class observes and analyzes the interaction between the players. You can also directly involve more students by using role playing as a group activity in which with several groups role playing at the same time. This has a clear advantage of giving more students a chance to demonstrate how they would perform in a role, but it can limit your chances of having all members of the class focus on specific issues that arise from the role play. So that was the first form. Now, the second form of role play is that it can be used to somehow help the student develop specific skills such as how to present themselves effectively at an interview, how to introduce themselves to a stranger, and etc. With this approach, you might you might have several students or all the student in particular take turns at playing the role so that they can somehow or give practice their skills and receive feedback. Now, the last form is that role playing requires the student to take on specific roles over a longer period of time, frequently in order to experience what it might be like to work in a particular occupation, right? Palmer in 1998 also described a fourth. No, I just said lately that there are three forms, but as what I dig deep also, there are four forms of a role playing, and according to Palmer in 1998, describes a fourth form of role play in which the students pretend to be anything. It's either a living or a non-living player. All right. So whichever form of role play is used, the teacher is responsible for planning, organizing, facilitating, and monitoring the role playing, and of course, for guiding the follow-up discussions. All right. So in short, the teacher has to ensure that the role play is a learning experience, not simply an activity. Understand? All right. So next on the list is we are going to identify why and when might a role play be used as a teaching strategy. So kanus aman di ay nganong ato ang ginagamit o kanus nato siya kailangan nga gamiton ang role playing as a teaching strategy. Now, according to Kellin in 2009, explained the advantages of role play. So in general, role play can first help the student create a learning environment in which the students are highly motivated and involved because of the realism, okay? The realism and relevance of the learning activities. Meaning to say that this encourages them to look at the material they are learning in a new light. Alright? So second is provide a clear focus for learning by emphasizing the application of knowledge in real situations rather than just accumulation. Okay? So rather than accumulation of knowledge for assessment purposes. Now, this helps the student to consolidate their learning. Thirdly is that it provide the students with opportunities to help a range of communication and social interaction skills. It can also give opportunities to express feelings and points of view that they might be unwilling to express in real situations. All right? So the fourth one is that it will give the students opportunities as well to deal with complex social, emotional, ethical, and moral issues in a concrete way in a safe environment. That is according to Hughes in 1992 and Eddings in 1992. Now here, the student can experiment. No? The student can experiment and take risks in their interactions with each other, which encourages them to think critically and creatively. Through these experiences, they gain, a better understanding of their own values and attitude. No? This according to results in 1994, and come to appreciate the consequences of their values-based action. Right? So the fifth one is that it engaged the student active in learning, meaning to say that the student will then now appreciate the value of participation rather than just hoping to learn by absorption. The sixth one is help. It can also help the student understand the feeling and attitude of others by experiencing situations rather than just hearing or reading about them. This will help also for the student to understand that there are causal relationships between people behavior and the outcomes of events. Next is it will also give the student practice in generalizing from a particular situation and appreciating that their biases and preconceptions will influence their generalizations. Okay, next will be develop the student's self-confidence, self-esteem, and self-image. Second to the last is that it encourages the student to take a deep approach to learning. That is according to Cope and Horan in 1996, and start to understand that complex problems rarely have simple solutions. And of course, the last one is that it will enable the students to explore historical or contemporary situations in which there are conflicting emotions, different points of view, biases, problems caused by differences in race and age. So in a nutshell, sa katong akong mga gipang mention, those are the things, that are role playing. Why and when might this role playing can be used as a teaching strategy? Now, as you can see, there are many things that we need to consider. First is it will help somehow the student to create a learning environment that makes them motivated. The second one is emphasizing the application of knowledge. The third is giving the student the opportunity to develop their communication and social interaction skills. The fourth is to give the student opportunities to deal with complex social, emotional, ethical, and moral issues. And also, it will engage the student active in learning. Meaning to say that in this part, the student will feel and value and appreciate the the sense of participation. All right. Next will be, it would also help the student to understand others' feeling rather than just pointing out in themselves. The next one is also give the student practice generalizing to develop self-confidence, self-esteem, self-image, in which it inclined to giving the student opportunities to develop communication and social interaction skills. So that's it. No, there that was the very own idea of how this role playing as a teaching strategy. And always remember that the teacher should somehow ensure that this role playing is not just a learning experience. I mean, always remember that this role playing is a learning experiences, not just a simple activity. Okay, so I guess you get all the points that I wish you get. All right, so if you have any questions or clarifications, you can ask me or DM me in my Facebook account. All right, thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you've learned something from me. Good day, everyone.